Hello and welcome. Formal patch note review time. We're gonna be a little quicker here. The leaked patch notes covered most of it, but there were a number of things missed. So I think we gotta actually go through it. Jonathan Joestar, how's it going? Good to see you here. It is time for us to actually go through the notes, formally talk about it. This one I'm gonna also hit more time on the cosmetics and bug changes. There's a lot actually in this patch that was not in the leaked patch notes. It's very rare, very rare. Most of the time, the leaked patch notes catches everything. I also think some of those should have been caught. Leaked patch notes had some things that were missed. And I think if I had gone through it with the Plain Talk fam on the Twitch fam side, we could have done a better job. But that might be my own ego talking. Let's get down to business. Shoop's shop is now getting grouped with new subcategories. Sweet, I love it. I love the idea of better organization. I've actually had trouble with the Shoop shop organization. Sometimes we're trying to find the product to talk about on stream. Usually for a newer player looking to spend money, and I don't know which category to pick. So I'm hoping this organization is going to be better. And it looks like the Gwent playtime is getting faster. This is really interesting to me. So the display reduced the display duration of cards played by your opponents, which will speed up the average game times. Now you can actually tweak settings to make things go faster. It looks like CDPR is making the choice saying they want all the games to go faster. I'm fascinated by that. I hope that is a good choice in the long run. There's no way to really measure if this is good or not. Whether the speeding up will make the game feel more like, or whether it'll make it feel like the games are quicker, the losses matter less because you can play so many. Curious. New features, new journey. It's gonna be Regis. Word on the street, we got Regis. We got the Regis. No surprise there. Salvine events coming. We're gonna help all the crones, and you can help all the crones and get a coin, which is pretty sick. That means we're all gonna be playing seasonal. That's what I believe. When I see this, I'm just like, we're gonna all be playing seasonal. Can't wait to crush all these. I'm absolutely intending to get all the crones done. And why are we here? That was not where I wanted to be. Weird. Okay. Spooky ornament sale, new reward book, and this is a big one. We mentioned there was a while ago when when there was like a leak about like Blood Eagle being available in books and all kinds of stuff like that, and everyone was freaking out. They're like, the starter decks have better cards now than the people originally thought it was a starter decks, and then starter decks had these awesome cards in it, but no, it's going to be on a reward book. And it looks like after all the backlash of this misunderstanding died down, we're coming back to it, and I'm very excited about this. I think the starter decks are terrible right now, and I was going to make a video about how bad they are. I probably still am. I'm hoping that this fixes a lot of it. I hope this gives high provision cards that are impactful and powerful, that are readily available to new players so they have a direction for the game. We got new effect abilities, which is sick. I think the new effect abilities are really good. I think the stratagem abilities and all the cool stuff there has been great. This will be a step in the right direction. And introduced to change the exit without saving, where the players will only receive the confirmation pop of the deck's invalid. Interesting. So you basically, if you don't want to save your changes, make your deck invalid and back out. And that should be good. It saves a few clicks. I actually think this is fine. I like this better. There was a lot of clicking when I wanted to leave decks. Nerfs, I talked about a lot of these. I'm going to try to hit the ones I didn't hit on the leaked patch notes. Just go back and watch the leaked patch notes video. Mushy Truffle got the nerf probably correct. It was quickly becoming a staple in every faction. It was just so much value with potential threat of carryover for very little cost. A couple other new ones down below we can see here. Somebody on YouTube pointed out Maruna now works really well with Witch's Sabbath at 6. It's a good call out. That's worth keeping in mind. We also see Toad Prince. This was not covered in the leaked patch notes. And Toad Prince is now going up to 4. That's a big change. Let's pop over the Gwent real fast. Go over the Toad Prince here. Deploy melee, consuming a unit of 4 or less power. That means it can be an 11 for 8 and a 9 engine. This card went from unplayable to playable. The ability to say your opponent on like blue coin plays a Bonnard student, then on red coin eat the Bonnard student. You have an 11 for 8 out there. In terms of like point value, it's really 7 for 8, but you denied 4 points. You killed an early 4-point engine. That's really strong. Keep an eye out for the Toad Prince. It is now a playable card. Love it. I can't wait because this card's really fun. Going back over to the patch notes here. And welcome people who are coming in. I'll give you all the formal welcome in a hot sec once we're done here. Fuka now is an armor. This is always really good for Thrive cards. Helps protect it going from that 4 to 5. Right now it's a 4 with 1 armor. That's a big jump. It means Maddock can't punish it. It's hard to punish this card I like it. It's a good change if you want to see Fuka see play. Going down, let's see. Arnavold. Oh, wait, Arnvold's going to 6. Any of these double buffs are huge. Arnvold, let's pull them up. Let's go over to deck builder. That's actually a huge deal. 6 for 6. Jeez. Really good with Witcher students. The 2 arms, which is a 5 for 4, spawn 3 Witchers, which is okay. It's okay. It helps you with your blood, with your Bear Witcher mentors and your Vesemir mentor. But now Arnvold can turn a 1-point Bear Witcher student, or Witcher student, 1-point Witcher student, whether you get it off Quartermaster, damaging one of your students, or a 2 arms. Arnvold has a ton of value at 11 for 6. Because you transform the 1 to +5, basically going to 6. And now it's a 6 +5. It's an 11-point play. Arnvold is playable. He was always actually low-key on the edge. I thought 5 would be appropriate, but 6 is a huge jump. That might open up new decks. That's a really big deal. It's a huge deal. Really, really hot. Really, really hot. Like that change. Like that change. Next. Blood Eagle and Sawblood Ranger. Bloodthirst now checks, effectively. It's like almost like a bug fix, but it's a huge buff. When you damage something, and then it checks for Bloodthirst, and has Bloodthirst added effects afterwards, it will now include what you damage. So Blood Eagle went from effectively Bloodthirst 3 to Bloodthirst 2. It's a huge buff. Bavblood Ravager, let's see what I don't even know what that card is, to be honest. Oh, there it is. Hold on. So I go over to Gwent real fast. Here it is. 3 for 4 damage and deal 2 damage on enemy, bleed 2. So that's a 7 for 5. Yeah, like that's, or 7 for 4. That's perfectly fine. Super easy to activate the Bloodthirst, right? Now you just need to have 1 damage unit, and your opponent needs 2 units. Just slap it down, get it done. Much, much more playable. Keep an eye out for it. But it's a really big buff to warriors in general. And Casino Lippy might actually run Subblood Ravager now. So something that's lovely, something that's good. In my mind, it makes more sense. I typically like it when card games favor the proactive player, whoever's in terms of the ruling. Like if I play a card like Blood Eagle, I would rather it favor the proactive player, assuming the Bloodthirst will factor it in, than not factor it in. So I like it. Scoia'tael, you're the 10-pointer, right? 10 for 6. Memories right? Yeah, now it's 10 for 6. Was 10 for 7. That's pretty good, actually. This is a good last say. 10 for 6, guaranteed. It's pretty solid. Fukusar got the nerf as expected. The Moon Smuggler of Zeal, eh? That's the 3-point pirate that copies itself. Now deals 1. Really like that. That makes it much more playable. Especially because you can open like Longship and then on create Longship, play that for an 8. Proactive 8. Really good. I don't know if it's better than the Mega Scoping and Raging Bears. Drummond Villager is potentially an 8 for 4. You just have to bleed a target that has very little HP or Veil. It's so-so. I'm not sold that this will actually make it playable. I might as well remind everyone what the Villager is, because most people don't actually know what Villager does. So now it's bleeding 4. You have to give bleeding to something, or try to. It has to hit a unit, but if a unit has Veil, you can get the 8 for 4. Notice this is continuing that trend of rewarding you as a player for going out of your way to work with the bronze cards to get more than 7 points. So 6 is the easy shoe, and you just play the bear. You play the elder bear. Play in the bear, baby. Can you bear it? And now 7 with a little bit of work, as we saw earlier with Ravager. 8 with a lot of work. You need to bleed something that's very low HP if you want 7, or a Veil unit if you want 8. Simple as that. Simple as that. I also, by the way, I like the direction. Bronzes are getting more interesting. Now Drummond Villager are rewarded for setting it up. A lot of the other stuff we covered here. Reynard is now getting formation order, which is kind of a clutch thing. Pull Reynard. Never seen him play. Give me a moment. Pull him up. So now he is basically, you can play him as an 8 for 9, play him offensively, or you can play him as a 7 for 9 on back row. Well, you get the boost here. You can 8 for 9 or a 9 for 9. 8 for 9 guaranteed. 9 for 9 on back, but also the powerful engine aspect. Play a unit boosted by 1. I don't know if it's going to see play. Probably won't, but it's neat. Can't deny it. Can't deny that it's a cool card. Moving along. Vandergrift was not caught in the leaked patch notes until it's too late. Going to 6. Still probably not going to be playable, but fun. Wiesengrid, 2 armor. I think I was caught in the patch notes if I recall. Where we got Carbalista has a cooldown now. That's actually a big deal. Carbalista was not that bad. Siege engines. Carballista was a 7 for 5. 7 for 5, as long as it lives. 5 for 5 normally, 7 for 5 if it lives, but then it has an actual engine built in. That's okay. Maybe not overpowered, but okay. Siege engines are pretty rough though, because Reinforced Ballista just takes the slot, right? This card's so much better. Germ making a good point in the chat. If you play Reynard back row, you're now out of range of Parasite, Trail of the Grasses, Decoction, which is pretty good. Pretty good, but it's also still blah. Like, it's still not a lot of points for a point slam. Like a card, like even for an engine, like on a Strigobor +2 a turn for a much easier setup. Lyran, I don't even know what some of these cards are. I feel very silly. Okay, this one goes to 4. Okay, so this one could potentially be... Oh, it's actually not a bad change. Play him on back row. You can play him on front row now. 4 might be 5 for 5, but if you can inspire him on back row, which is the most common way, you can potentially now bump up to 5 for 5, inspire, deal 3. 8 for 5. Not bad. It's like just buffing up bronzes. Did I say Anna Strigobor? What's her name? Anna... What's her name? I did say Anna Strigobor. Am I that wrong? Anna... It's like Striger... Strigobor, it's all the same. Let's be real. Anna, you know what I'm talking about. There we go. Siege Master, it's fine. We talked about it. This is a big nerf that was not caught. Golbathana Sorceress is going to 6. Guys, I gotta say, CDPR hates Scoia'tael. I told you for a fact that CDPR hates Scoia'tael, and man, they really hate Scoia'tael. This is honestly, there's a high chance, besides the Meditating Mage nerfs to that deck, this is the next biggest change in the entire patch. This huge, like, stomach punch straight in there, like, oh god, they just hate it. It's a fair nerf, but boy, they did not give Scoia'tael much love. They didn't even really bother with the... I don't know, we'll see. Hand buff is like where you're looking at. You got the War Dancer and Torque, but I don't really think War Dancer is that good. It clogs up your hand. You don't want things in your hand for... I think hurts. All hurts across the board. We're gonna move on. We're moving on because we got a different spicy change coming in. Kugras goes to 10. Hurts Viper decks, but oh baby. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? It's unbelievable. Mind blowing. Whoa. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Take a look at that. Get a look at that, baby. Oh, baby. Let's get on some shades for this one. I'm going to read it verbatim. Yeah, baby. Viper now additionally gains spying when summoned from the graveyard to the battlefield. Viper has been fully endorsed by CDPR as the correct way to play Viper. That's right. Viper is never going to be designed to be played normally again. CDPR has basically said, you know what? We will be baptizing the Viper. We are baptizing the Viper. We are giving it the CDPR full 10 out of 10 seal of certification. That this is how Viper is meant to be. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. The full blessing. Well, I'm going to have to play around with it, see what it means, see a couple interactions here there, but Terra Nova might get cut. Old school Viper might be back, and you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Another really sick change here. Here's an annoying sick change. Next sick change is Mage Infiltrator has Death Blow now. We're moving on. We're moving on, but God, that thing is hype. Hype. We got a really interesting change coming in. Mage Infiltrator now gets Death Blow, swap sides. That's a big deal. This is a really great, another example of the potential rewards off a card. So it's 6 for 4 on paper, as long as you deal... No, it's not even 6 for 4. It's 5 for 4 on paper? Yeah, 5 for 4 on paper. I give you 1 point. I deal 6. So 5 for 4. But if you Death Blow, let's say I hit 2 3s or 1 3 and something else that's vulnerable, I deal 6 damage and then I get the Mage Infiltrator. Meaning I get an 8 for 4. Once again, we see CDPR saying, look, 8 for 4s are fine for bronzes, but you got to work for it. We're not just giving this out like candy. This ain't no free ride. This ain't no free ride. But if you want that premium. No, not 7 for... no, it is 7 for 4. Darn it, I have my math wrong. We're going to ignore this. 7 for 4, 7 for 4. Still, we see the CDPR saying if you want that premium 7 for 4, you got to work for it. You got to work for the man. You got to make it happen. 8 for 4, a little bit out of reach, you're right. I have it wrong. But 7 for 4, 7 for 4. If you want it, it's there, baby. It's the future. I don't know actually at 7 for 4 if this is going to quite break it all, but it's interesting. It's interesting. New tool for Brathens. Yeah, I think you might see Brathens start running this. I'm torn about. Do you want it? I think you probably do want it, Dana. There's so many good like. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. Kills larva. I mean, there's so many things it kills. Messes up things like self eaters. Whispers to Dolbon Thanas, which are spawning pretty frequently these days. Like kill 2's the Whispers to Dolbon Thanas, and Yoink It's pretty strong. Slave Infantry buffs that. Kills Meditating Mage. It's a good call out there, Freaky Bone. I think it's fine. Which is better, Emissary and Mage Infiltrator? Probably Emissary. More reliably, anyways. But Mage Infiltrator seems pretty interesting. Moving along, I like that change. I think it turns a boring card into something really interesting. Ointment now is a tactic. There's going to be more meme and slave decks now that you have Ointment at 4, a 5 for 4, heal it first if it's a soldier. And now you have more low-cost tactics. I mean, this card's kind of trash. Spores is just better. Like 5 points is nice, but I can probably always get a 5-point Spores. So why not just run Spores? Why not? Moving along. Prophet Laboda is going from 6 to 8. So that's the card where you play for Northern Realm Syndicate Hybrid. When you play a card next to it, give it a shield. It exists. It's annoying. I don't think it'll be very good. Moving along, Blind Apothecary got a buff to 4. Actually, I think it's kind of clutch. Blind Apothecary is kind of underrated, in my opinion. If we go to Blind Apothecary here. Now, wait, is the Apothecary? I got the right one. Boost amount changed from 3 to 4. So now it's a 6 for 4. It also has flexibility here. It's very strong, in my opinion, in a deck like Off the Books. Because paying 1 to combine both of these, healing something and boosting it, plus you have a body is pretty good, and you have the flexibility of just playing it for points. I like it better than Ointment, guys. I know you want to compare versus Ointment. I think the flexibility goes further. The tribute. It's neat. It's neat. Maybe I'm too loving of this card because it's really good in a particular meme deck with Greater Brothers, but that's probably where you run. That's where I'm probably going to keep running it. Still, I like the change. I don't know if it'll see play, but it'll help the meme deck out. That's why I'm warmer to it. Line of credit, kill an artifact or a unit. Now you get 7 coins. Nice. We talked about Cut Up Blackie last time. Payroll Specialist is a big deal. It's a 5 for 5 Tribute 1 move a unit. It's actually pretty strong. It's payroll both you and your opponents. Let's see. Give me one moment. Payroll, yeah, it's a 5 for 5 move a unit. That's actually pretty good. With Intimidate, actually, it's very good. I really like that. We're seeing that where Syndicate and Monsters are both lacking in like locks. We're seeing CDPR give them better movement. I really like this change. It's now you can tech movement much more easily. Wretched Addict. Oh, man. They're really... I'm so glad we got to review the patches. This one is all about big changes. Oh, baby. Check this out. Boost by 2. An 8 for 4. Not 8 for 4, but like a 4x4 boost by 2 if you poison it. Wow. 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 Can you imagine opening this and just playing Gellert? Straight up. Gellert, boost it, and then at the end of 2, you're going +2 a turn. Big risk, though, unless Nilfgaard plays poison. I don't think it's that big a risk. Wow, that card's really good now. If you any 4 for 4 that has a conditional +2 a turn, easy. Freaking easy. Also, of note, Basilisk Venom can poison your own units. This is actually worth probably noting here. Let's say 5 coins Tiger's Eye. Let's say it's approximately worth like 7 points. That's why people run it. Basilisk Venom to get this thing online immediately. I mean, like unless you can use your other poisons offensively and get Wretched Addict immediately going. Kind of interesting. I don't think it'll see play, but it's just a thought. Notice any unit. But now we should probably look at Syndicate Poison. Wow, self poison, baby. I mean, I like me some self poison. Mutated Hounds getting the buff. Friendly reminder what that buff is, because honestly I already forgot. It is 5 to 5, so these will have 5/5 poison. BizTech of the package is already insane. This has always been a pretty weak guard, but I mean, do you run it? It's worth considering. Salamander Abomination. Gellert's the big one. Gellert's really what's all here. Soul mutagens are pretty darn bad, but now if you're running Salamander, going extra hard on the self-poison, I have always liked it. And you can also use the Broken Veil combo, where if you give Veil to Salamander Abomination, for some reason it still triggers its effect if you poison it. So you can turn it, you can like Gellert 9 times in a turn, you give it plus 36, +2/+2. If it has Veil. There's a lot of weird stuff you can do. This is that's a big change. This patch has been really interesting of the just raw changes. I'm not like, notice we aren't spent a lot to talk about. Not spending time on the numbers because they were all most of them were all leaked, and yeah, still a lot here. All in all, the patch has gotten more interesting. It went from a lukewarm, like room temperature black kind of thing to a little something, a slight boil. Not much. I don't think it's the spiciest thing, but it's not too bad. I agree, Trey. This game fixes are a big deal. So are you guys ready for this? Let's go through it. No shield to disloyal. I didn't even know this was a thing. No shield to disloyal units. Okay, doesn't matter. Illusionist will not trigger its own bonded effect when spawning illusionist from the enemy grave. You can't just spam a million of them. You lose 2 points in that. Kind of hurts one of the weird meme decks. Another meme combo that's hurt is Incubus. If your opponent's roll is full, you could still summon a unit. You try to give him a unit, the game fails, but it still lets you pick one, which is nuts. So this kind of hurts. I never got around to really testing the meme. I used it once or twice, but nothing too extravagant. 2 meme decks took a hit, but you know what? If Viper's going to be blessed by the gods of CDPR, I'm content. Ignatius Hail, I didn't even know it could hit negative tribute. Now I'm like kind of heartbroken. I would have played negative tribute all day. Amir finally got the fix that Snowdrop and Brynna and a lot of the other draw cards hit, which is good. Fashion Extractor, didn't even realize this was bugged. Just kind of fixing up stuff. Here is the first really big one. So, gosh, it's fantastic. Artusa Adept's not going to get buffed on the turn of Scoia'tael anymore. So, like, you remember how I was talking about in the leaked patch notes, how it was like a WWE match, right? The Meditating Mage deck is getting stomach punched, and somebody's bashing him with a chair, getting the elbow drop from the top. This is the end of the match, where they're on the ground, they're down, and then like somebody else just enters the ring out of nowhere and just straight up dead drops the entire deck of a knee. Now Artusa Adept isn't even triggering. I think or at least they're fixing a bug that gave it even more points. It's really wild. Anyways, I think it's fascinating. It's just like, it's a small little bug. It'll not deny more points. I didn't actually notice it in game, so maybe it's something minor and I'm misreading this, but at the end of the day, anything that takes more points away from the Meditating Mage deck, just brutal. Moving on. Alyssa is finally fixed. You don't have to just pick the rightmost card every time. PO Practitioner, I think it was rightmost. That was way around the bug. Scoundrel fixed. And just, yeah, the rest, that's really it. Artusa Adepts, I think, is a spicy one. The Illusionist one is noticeable, and Amir's is noticeable. And that's the patch. I'm gonna give this like a 6 out of 10 soft boil. It's the kind of thing where you're trying to get like trying to make some ramen, and you want to get the egg just. New Practitioner was bugged? Yeah, it looks like so. No longer ignore the card enter the enemy's graveyard if the copy of the same card was there. It's hilarious, but yes, it looks like there was a bug there. This is a soft boil kind of a patch where, you know, if you're making ramen, you want that runny yolk, that slightly undercooked yolk, so that like it really savors that richness from the egg. That's what this patch is. It's not hard boiled. This isn't the hot stuff. Just a little something. Tide us over. I am particularly pleased with just the raw amount of reworking. Mage Infiltrator is super cool. Viper getting blessed by the gods. I really like some of the Reynard. I don't think it's playable, but I like it. Carbalist, I don't think it's playable, but I like it. Whoops, didn't mean to go forward. Wretched Addict, I like that the card now has a +2. Opens a whole new slew of decks. I like Ointment's changes. Now it's attacked a little bit more online. I like the actual card text changes more than just the ups and downs of tweaking things, because it feels like the game moves in a better direction. I hope CDPR keeps doing more stuff like this. I hope that the patches are always so exciting, even after, I think the leaks will continue with the numbers. I don't think CDPR is going to patch that out. I hope it keeps going forward, and I like the patch. I hope we get more stuff like this. If we are going to move to a world where I think CDPR is going to reduce the change or reduce the pace of new cards hitting the game, particularly in terms of raw expansions, like number of expansions. Instead of having 6, we'll have slightly larger. My guess is 4. Did a whole video on that. But if there are more patches like this, except more patches like this, I think it'll be okay. But I think honestly you need more. Like Scoia'tael needs another 5 changes. Honestly, you can probably do 1 or 2 more changes for each one, and I would be content. I think it'd be my only complaint about this patch is I want more. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you all think down below. I love all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow on the new patch, or later today. I don't know when you're watching this. I love you though. Take care. Shout out to McRandar, pseudonym 81, and Ali for all their generous support on the Patreon.